All right, so we've got Jimmy Mowery in the studio over there. Get the camera off me. He's here recently on The Voice. You live here in Myrtle Beach, right?
Yes.
And you're originally from Central Pennsylvania?
Yep, Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I'm from up there too.
Nice.
Up around Du Bois, actually.
Really?
Yep, that's where I'm from.
Dude, I used to play at East Side Sports Bar.
Okay.
Every other Monday.
Yep, I'm from up there. So, I did see your Instagram post the other day, and that's one thing I wanted to... You went to Sheets. Yep. I'm dying for a sheet.
Man, I've been saying, and I think the company, they like to stay family owned. So I've been saying for years now since I moved down here, I'm like, man, you guys got to move it down into Myrtle. It'll blow up, I think.
I need Sheets in my life down here.
Exactly. Same.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about things that sparked your interest in singing. How old were you when you started doing that?
So, 13th birthday. That's when I asked my mom for my first guitar. Got it. Started out with just a guitar, and I probably within maybe the first year or so, I just attempted to start singing the songs I was playing, and I'd say by 15 is whenever started the whole band thing. So, got into singing somewhere in between 13 and 15.
I had nothing at 13 or 15. So. Biggest influence?
I always say like my favorite band of all time is Blink-182.
Okay.
Which I know, as far as singing, they're not really known for that, not being great vocalists. But I think, they kind of paved the way for bands like Fall Out Boy, who I remember like hearing them. I'm like, oh man, it's like Blink-182, but this guy's a really good singer. So it kind of started whenever like I heard Fall Out Boy. I wanted to get better at singing and kind of learn that craft a little more.
Okay, so your favorite band's Blink. What is your favorite song by Blink?
I think Man Overboard.
And what do you think about them going out with Lil Wayne on tour?
I thought that was like interesting. I think it's a cool concept and a cool idea, like mesh some crowds together, because I know like Lil Wayne's into like skateboarding and that kind of scene too, and so I can see how that fits.
Okay.
It should be a cool show. I think
it's
I have
interesting.
off that day,
it's very interesting. It'd be something to see. So you were on The Voice recently. How did your journey on The Voice start? How did you get into that?
So, let me see here. So I tried out 10 times, not just for The Voice, but so 3 for The Voice, 3 for X Factor, twice for Idol, and twice for America's Got Talent.
Wow.
None of which I made it through their preliminary stuff. Like I stood in line with everybody else for like 9 hours each time. Went in, sang for 2 seconds, and then they're just like, look at their clipboard and, okay, everybody, well, you all sound great. Not what we're looking for this year. Good luck next time.
Wow.
Like, no feedback, no anything. Like, how am I supposed to know what to work on? So after 10 times, I was finally like, I'm done. Like, obviously, this isn't for me. I'll just keep playing these shows and grinding and figure it out as I go. And I got an email maybe about a year ago. And it was like, hey, this is Michael from the casting department for The Voice. Wondering if you're interested in an audition. I'm like, I've already tried out for you guys 3 times with no luck. And he's like, oh, well, this would be a private audition. Like, you wouldn't stand in line and everything. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can do that. So it turned out they were coming to Atlanta, was the closest city. So I drove over to Atlanta. I want to say that was maybe this time last year. Either May or I think June, actually, mid-June. Went over. They asked me to prepare 4 songs, so I went in and sang 4 songs. They asked me a few questions, and then they were like, all right, well, we're giving you a yes today. That means we're going to send you across the hall, and you're going to do a little on-camera interview. So then I went across the hall, sat there, and the lady just asked me some questions about my life and everything, and she's like, all right, well, we'll let you know within the next month or so. Then about a month later, I get a phone call, and I see that it's like an LA number, and I'm like, oh man. answer it, and she's like, "Hey, this is so and so from The Voice. Just want to say congrats. Like, we loved your tape, and would love for you to come out if you're interested." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So then I think maybe it was later that month or later in the summer at some point, and that's when I went out to LA. Then when we were out there, I think there was I want to say 160 of us or something initially. And they eventually cut that number in half to 80, I think.
Right.
And so I made it through those cut downs, and I'm like, wow, this is really happening. This whole thing's happening. And then we had a meeting with all 80 people, and that's where they tell you there's 5 days of blind auditions. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to call, all right, day one, my name was called. So I'm like, okay, I got day one. I was kind of worried at first because I'm like, man, maybe they're not going to be as quick to turn their chairs because there's so many of us. But it worked out in my favor because then if you went on day 4 or 5, you can run out of spaces and then you end up just getting sent home.
Very true.
So,
what was the experience like? What was your favorite part of it? I mean, we see what we see on TV. It's all edited, put together. You know what I mean? What did you take from it? What was your favorite part?
I tell everybody, honestly, my favorite thing was all of us were all in the same hotel out there, all the singers. So that just, making friends with everybody else on the show, and we would just sit in each other's rooms with our guitars and stuff and just sing songs, and then we'd be going out. We'd all go out to dinner together, and we just did everything together. We did go-karts, batting cages, it was cool. So free time, we just kind of got to go walk around. We had to stay within the confines of Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't allowed to leave, and we had a curfew, and it was so I would say it's kind of like a little singer summer camp. It's kind of what it was like, I guess.
The cross battles, how were they? Tell us about them a little bit. What did it feel like? What was it like?
So that first battle, initially, we had our meeting, and it was so the first meeting back, they showed us all our blind auditions. That was the first we got to watch. We were all like, oh no, all critiquing ourselves and stuff. And then she's like, okay, now I'm going to call up the pairs. And it was me and Calvin. I'm like, okay, yeah, Calvin's awesome. And she's like, you guys are going to do Usher, You Got It Bad. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I'm screwed. I'm like, because, he was more of an R&B guy, and I'm more of my pop rock stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of out of my box that I'm in, but thankfully, it worked out in the end. But I was I was really nervous. I'm like, man, you guys gave me an R&B song with an R&B guy.
But you made it work.
But it worked out.
Obviously, we're a top 40 station, so we play pretty much everybody you interacted with, like Adam Levine, John Legend, Charlie Puth, all that. Tell us about what it was like working around with them.
Man, so I have idolized Adam since Songs About Jane, in 2002. I've just watched everything he's done, what's he wearing, what's everything. So that's why I picked him initially, anyways. But yeah, just to be around him, and for just him to say oh man, you're awesome. I love your tone and this and that, and it was just surreal. And then when I found out. Also, we found out the day, minutes before, that Charlie Puth was going to be the mentor. I was a giddy little schoolgirl because I love Charlie Puth. So we went in, and it's cool how they it was edited, but Adam had to run to the bathroom, so he needed a break. So that's when I actually talked to Charlie. I was like, hey man, I saw that you went to Berkeley, so I actually started doing some research on Berkeley. And so I go there now, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. Blah, blah. We talked about Berkeley for a second, and it was just cool to interact. It was just surreal, that you're just talking to these people that you just see on TV and everything, and hear on the radio, and that you're just having one-on-one conversations, and they're real, normal people.
Right. So The Voice opened some doors for you. What's next? What's your plans?
So I've been working with Brian Craddock. He's a guitar player for Daughtry, who I got hooked up with him through my buddy over here at Clocker's Tavern. Jason Clocker used to tour, I think, with his band. So back in 2015, I did a single with Brian, and he's been so cool with answering any questions. Like, I'll text him any day of the week, and he's always just like quick to like get back to me, and he has the best answers out of anybody, you know, that I know. And so I went to work with him, and I recorded like three songs in March during like my break in between from the cross battles and then going back out to LA. So he got the first song mixed, and he said as soon as we get these 3 done, I think he can get me a sit down with potentially with Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
I had a meeting with Heart 8 Management, which they have Billie Eilish.
Right. Who is huge right now.
Huge, yeah. So I met with them in March, and it was pretty much just like, we'll see, you know, how you do on the show, what kind of following you build. So really the next plan is just to figure out mine and Brian's schedule when they line up, and I can go back to Nashville and get some meetings with people and hopefully go from there. Actually, tomorrow I have a conference call with I think it's called TAG. It's a PR agency.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
very cool
talk to them.
Cool. Well, good luck with that.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know what to expect.
Right?
I'm new to all that stuff.
And your songs, where can people get them?
They're everywhere as far as digital formats. iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, Apple Music. Are there any other ones am I missing? Tidal is another one, big one. Yeah, I just do the distribution through CD Baby, so they do it, I think, to every single platform that's available online.
Got it. Well, we've got your song, and you want to intro it?
Yeah, this song's it's called Coming Attraction.
Okay. Anything about it? Do you?
I did it. It was a co-write with which I haven't really done before. It was a co-write with Brian. Josh Paul is the bass player from Daughtry, and then a guy named Jimmy Thau is his name, based out of Nashville, singer-songwriter, and we all did a co-write on it and just kind of threw some ideas around, and then it just turned into this good, catchy pop song, and I was like, dude, I think people are gonna like this. It's a good sing-along jam, you know.
Cool. All right, let's play it.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks.